Hey there, darling. Welcome to the Farmer's Table. My name is Jess. If you are new here, I'm so glad to have you here with me on my channel today. And if you're not new here, welcome back. I'm also very glad that you're here. Today I want to show you guys a very simple, really technique of cooking something. I wouldn't even necessarily go as far as to say this is a recipe, but this is something that anybody can make, no matter your skill level. You don't need anything super fancy to make this, and this will totally elevate your cooking. We'll get to how to use this, but let's dive into making garlic confit. So confit is a method of cooking where you essentially cook something in fat. Classically, confit is made with duck because duck is a really fatty bird, and so you cook the meat in its fat. But this can apply to anything that you want to cook and in any type of fat you want to cook it in. Today I'm going to confit garlic and some herbs in olive oil. I've got my oven preheated to 400. You can go a little lower and do like 375 and just go a little longer if you prefer doing that with your olive oil. I know some people don't like to heat it as high as 400. I would not go over 400. The smoke point of most olive oils is like 400 to 420, so you're kind of pushing it with this, but it's typically what I do. It works well for me. I have a bunch of garlic cloves here. As I mentioned, this isn't a recipe. You could make a small amount of this if you don't need very much. If you've got a whole bunch of garlic, let's say you bought one of those bags of peeled cloves or something like that, and you need to use them before they spoil, you could make a whole lot of this and then save it for use later. Do keep in mind that we want these cloves submerged. We want them covered. So you need to keep in mind the footprint of the container you're using. Sometimes when I just want a small amount, I will use this really small pan so I can just cover the bottom and cover that with oil, and it saves me having to use excess oil. Today I'm doing a couple cups of garlic. That full bowl kind of covers an inch or two on the bottom of this pan. I may need a little more oil than this. I've got a little over a cup of oil here. Yeah, a cup wasn't quite enough. I just want to make sure all of my cloves are covered. They don't have to be covered by a lot, but you do want submerged cloves. And I'm going to put a little bit of parsley in with this and just kind of nestle it down into the oil so that it does not burn. Now you could do this with just the garlic. I like adding the herbs. I don't know, couple pinches of good chunky salt in there, and I'm gonna put, I don't know, a teaspoon or so of red pepper flakes also. You could use any herbs that you want. This really is something you can play with a lot. I mean, you're cooking garlic, and anything you put in it in oil, it's gonna be glorious no matter what it is. I'm sticking this in the 400-degree oven, and we'll come back to it in about 45 minutes to an hour. I'll pull it out at 45 minutes and see how it's going then. Okay, timer's going off. It's been 45 minutes. I just took a peek and it looks good to go. It smells so good. So this is what it's looking like coming out of the oven. You want to see that your cloves are looking really golden, and then you want to be able to take one and make sure that it is easily squishable, and that's when you know that it's done. As you can see, this oil is definitely simmering. You need to be careful with this. It's extremely hot. Now let's talk real quick about what to do with this confit garlic. I wish that you could smell this. Somebody get on inventing smell-o-vision. So cooking garlic in this way is going to really mellow out the intensity of the cloves. If you've ever had roasted garlic or anything like that, this is a very similar end result. They're soft, they're squishy, and you can just eat these like, I mean, obviously if I did that now I would hurt myself because they're extremely hot. I mean, I do usually when they cool, I do indulge in just popping a handful of these cloves one at a time because they're so tasty. It kind of makes it sweet, very nutty. You lose all of the intensity and maybe even the little spiciness of garlic. This is really great if you've got like some crusty bread to take some of this, mash the garlic cloves across the bread, drizzle some of the oil on. If you're doing like bruschetta, I do have a video for that also. This mashed across the bread within the tomato mix on top of it is so good. This is great spread on to bread for sandwiches. If you're trying to make homemade garlic bread, this is it. One of the things I really love to do is boil potatoes to make mashed potatoes. And then take a lot of these confit garlic cloves, mash them in the potatoes, and use some of the oil in place of like putting butter in the potatoes. So if you are going to, let's say, like use these cloves for something else, the oil is now garlic infused olive oil. It makes really great salad dressings. Like anywhere you would want to use olive oil, you could use it as a finisher. You have lots and lots of options with this. This tossed with pasta is really amazing. Serving some of these garlic cloves with the oil drizzled on roasted chicken or any sort of meat like that is fantastic. There are tons of ways that you can use this. The sky is the limit, but it is absolutely delectable, and I highly suggest you give this a try. I just store any excess. I personally like to put it in the fridge. I think it would probably be somewhat stable on the counter for a little while just because it is in oil and that is a preservation method, but I do always just stick it in the fridge. Keep in mind that if you put it in the fridge, it's largely going to solidify. So if you want to use it like as a salad dressing, the oil or something like that, you would need to bring it out and let it come to room temperature so you could mix it. But oh, it's finally starting to stop sizzling. This is amazing and it's so tasty, and I really want you to get to experience this. Since I can't share the smell with you, I guess you're just gonna have to make some yourself. Let me know, what do you like to confit? I have another confit recipe that I do pretty regularly with cherry tomatoes, so let me know if you want to see that. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today and all the days you do. I bless you. Until next time.